Hello and welcome to the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts, a Centers for Spiritual Living teaching center. I am Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, the founding minister and spiritual director. You are invited to learn more about this new teaching center by following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Subscribe, join, follow, and spread the news with others who may be interested in the work we are going to do in the world. Namaste and blessings. Time for service.
Hello and welcome. Because several people have asked, it is time for us to go ahead and begin having this after service opportunity to come together for camaraderie, conversation, and fellowship. This will happen on Zoom. Now, quick note, if you got this memo last week, the date was incorrect. The correct date is February 19th and 26th. March dates and April henceforth to come. If you are interested in joining us in this Zoom after Sunday service thing, Sunday message thing, if you are interested in joining us, then send an email to spirituallyintegratedarts@gmail.com and the Zoom link will be sent to you. Now, without further ado, if you are ready, take a deep breath and let's begin. Once again, February, the month theme, curiosity as a superpower. Today's specific title, Inquiring Minds Want to Know. Inquiring minds want to know. A question most of us, if not all of us, want to know and would love to have the answer to is, what is my reason for being? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? How do I do it? But what is my reason for being? Most of us, if not all of us, would love to have the answer to that question readily available. This, however, is not a question that the intellect alone can answer, for it has to be answered by the soul, and each individual's soul holds the answer. And so today we dive into the journey of self-discovery to find what makes us come alive, to find what that is, that unique gift and talent that we have, specifically that we have to share with the world. A reminder that we are an absolutely magnificent expression of the divine, exactly as we are right now, and exactly as we are not. So you ready? Ready to talk about this a little bit more? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds, questions. Dear Watson, what are the questions that we ask? Master Sherlock, what are the questions that we are asking? Well, inquiring minds want to know what exactly? What do the inquiring minds want to know? Well, we want to know, why am I here? Why am I here? Why was I born? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Like, okay, so I'm here, clearly. But what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to teach? Am I supposed to write? What am I supposed to do? Matter of fact, you know what? Because of how things in my life have occurred, I want to know, how do I change my life? How do I live a better life? How do I live my best life? How do I live into this thing that we talk about, this divine magnificence? How do I live that? How yeah, inquiring minds want to know that. Just please, just tell me why, tell me what, tell me how. Just help me, Linda, help. Was it Rhonda? I don't know. Just, can somebody please help? Because inquiring minds want to know. And this is the search. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, it seems that humans exist for the purpose of self-expression. Simply that, self-expression. There appears to be no other reason or excuse for their being. The infinite has already implanted within humanity an instinctive intuition, which is the spiritual knowledge of good, and their whole growth, each human being, their whole growth results from an inner awakening. Now, the infinite has already implanted this within humanity because the infinite is expressing itself as humanity. So it's not like the infinite put it into humanity. The infinite, as humanity, has this instinctive awareness, intuition, inner awakening in its expression. So it's already in us, not because something outside put it in, but because that which it is us. So this whole growth results from our inner awakening. How do we wake up? Do I need an alarm clock? Do I set my phone? Siri, wake me up for this inner awakening. I don't even like, I don't know, what am I supposed to say? How do I, self-expression. How do we express ourselves? How do we grow as a result of this inner awakening? Not outer awakening, inner awakening. Pause and breathe, because the question would be, are you in tune with your intuition? If the intuition is there and it already has this spiritual knowledge of good, and Emma Curtis Hopkins said, my good is my God, this instinctive intuition, which is the spiritual knowledge of good, of God, brings forth this growth, this evolutionary power based upon our inner awakening, our inner knowing, our conviction to what we know. Do we know it? Or are we still looking for it? Are we looking for God in all the wrong places? Now, part of this whole idea of inner awakenings and what makes you come alive and all this other stuff is, what is your calling? What is calling you? Now, very often, in fact, I think for as long as I can remember, people were, asking children, asking me, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you go to college? What do you want to be after college? What do you want to be when you, can I just play with Batman today? Like, do I have to make plans? I'm 5. Do I have to know what I want to do when I'm 25? I don't even know what 25 means. And oftentimes, when I first went to therapy, the therapist told me I had to choose a vocation. I can only do one thing. What is calling me? What is that one thing that's calling me? And I've learned over the years, none of us have a calling per se. What we have are callings. There is always something calling us in all kinds of ways, all kinds of places. Now, we may have a single calling when it comes to a profession, a job, or a career, but a calling in terms of a relationship is a calling to write a book. Yeah, I work at the Pentagon and I'm still writing this book on car maintenance. Both of these are callings. The calling for each of us, however we found Centers for Spiritual Living, Religious Science, Science of Mind and Spirit, something called us into it. There are all kinds of callings. So surrender the idea that there is only one, and relinquish and surrender into that there are all kinds of ways that spirit calls itself as you. Deepak Chopra says, everyone has a purpose in life, a unique gift. As we say in Centers for Spiritual Living, give of your time, your talent, your treasure, your tithe. Everyone has a unique treasure, a unique something to offer, a special talent to give, to share with others. And when we blend this unique talent with service to others, we experience the ecstasy and the exaltation of our spirit. We are lit up. We light up. We are illumined. We are enlightened. Do you know what your unique gifts? Do you know what your unique gifts are? Do you know what your talents are? Are you sharing them? Now, it's easy because some of us don't. Some of us, I don't know. I don't know. What are my talents? What I don't know what I don't know, Ray. I don't know. I don't know. Gotcha. And I want us to think about this very similarly to the way we would if we were going on a road trip. If we're going to go somewhere, even those who don't necessarily plot a specific destination, there is an intention to go to Europe. I'm going to just travel. I'm not going to pick a hotel or a hostel or anything. I'm going to just go, and then I'm going to go with the flow and figure it out as I get there. Well, there's still the destination point of Europe, or there's the destination point of BWI to fly somewhere international. There's still that. There's some intention. So we begin with this idea of a GPS as a practical tool. I must input where it is that I desire to go. So let's start there with the idea. The calling, the gift, the talent, all of this stuff is about where am I intending to go? And I want us to think about it in terms of our true North Star. What is it that is making us, inspiring us, motivating us? What is that thing? And it's not necessarily an end destination. It's simply this idea of, what do I want to experience? Do I want to experience greater joy? Then where do I need to go, quote unquote? What course of action do I need to plan in order to arrive at the destination of, I have more joy in my life. I have greater financial freedom and independence in my life. What is it that you want to experience? And I know some of the things that we want to experience, they are very poetic and very amorphous. I got that. That's fine. Enlightenment. I don't know what that means. I know what the word means, but I don't like chop wood before enlightenment, chop wood after enlightenment. Do the laundry before enlightenment, do the laundry after enlightenment. So what is enlightenment? In a practical sense, I don't know. I don't know what that means. So there are some of the things that we want to experience that we are invited to get more grounded into. What does that really look like on a day-to-day basis? Financial wealth and prosperity, greater financial security and independence. What does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Does that mean I have no need to cut coupons? Does that mean I go where I want when what does it mean on a day-to-day basis? To be healthy, to experience greater health and well-being, to experience greater relationship connection, greater sexual bliss, greater whatever it is. What does it mean on an experiential, somatic body experience level? Not that Heidi flighty, shanti, not at that level, not at that level. Bring it down to, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? It can still be connected to this. Even when we say love, I want to experience more love. I don't know what that means. Does that mean more affection, more hugs, more kisses, more sex? What does it mean that you want to experience more love? Boil it down to its most basic experiential ABC. Because love in and of itself is one of those words that could mean a billion different things. Bring it down to the personal. For me, I want to experience more love in my life, which looks like this. It feels like this. Then we can actually talk about, okay, so now that we know that, what is actually calling you? What is your North Star? What is actually calling you forward? What is your vision for being? What is that? Because oftentimes we confuse purpose and calling. Now, for the sake of conversation, purpose is the reason for which you exist. or something exists. The phone exists for the purpose of connecting, making phone calls, sending emails, whatever. The phone exists for the purpose of connecting people who are not in the same space. It is the reason for. So, what is your reason for existing? Why do you exist? Maybe that's not even a question that we need to worry about. You exist because God exists as you. Maybe for the moment, that answer is enough. I exist because the universe chose to exist to show up as me. Now, taking that into account, then let's ask, based on that, then what is my calling? It is how we fulfill that purpose. The universe is expressing itself as me. That's the purpose. And therefore, I am called to show up as the universe. I am called to live my best, my most magnificent life, and to ensure that others are able to do so as well. I know that I am the universe. I know that I am source incarnating. I know that I am God manifesting itself. I know this. Then I am called to live into that. I am called to live into it so powerfully that I assist others in living into it as well. Breathe. Gary Zukav says, each soul comes to earth with gifts, with talents, with abilities. Each soul brings the particular configuration of the life force that it is to the needs of the earth school. It does this with purpose and intention. In other words, we are all here to serve. We are all here to uplift. We are all here to awaken. We are all here to demonstrate and express our spiritual magnificence and live our best lives. There is a particular configuration of molecules, etc., that make my body. The life force, the chi, the prana, the ka, all of this stuff. There's a particular configuration that separates me from the phone, even though quantum physics would say we're 99.9999999999999% empty space. So to a certain degree, there is no separation between me and the phone. Yeah. And yet in this physical configuration, the phone, me, the highlighter are very distinct, separate expressions. The configurations are different. My configuration from yours, different. The laptop, the computer, different configurations. But all of them, in terms of this physical life expression, serve a purpose. There is an intentionality behind what they are and how they are used, including our own lives. How are we using our gifts and talents, our particular gifts and talents, in this particular configuration to show up, to heal, to address the needs wherever they exist on the earth? You've heard me mention this many, many, many times recently. What does it mean to be a 21st century New Thought Good Samaritan with purpose and intention? What makes me come alive? Breathe. What makes you come alive? What does it mean to come alive? To come alive means to be excited and filled with energy. Excited, a heightened state of energy, enthusiasm, eagerness. Filled with energy, a dynamic quality, a life-affirming spiritual force. Filled with activity, action, a verb. To become excited or appealing, something that is pleasing and agreeable. When you come alive, this is what is demonstrated. You are excited and you are filled with energy. You are filled with a dynamic, life-affirming spiritual force that causes you to act. It causes you to do things, and you are pleased and you are pleasing others in a manner that is agreeable with your intention, your vision, your mission, your purpose, and agreeable with that which God is as you. Breathe. Because if we're going to change the world, if we're going to manifest a world that works for all, if we're going to live our best lives, then we must come alive. If I'm not alive to come alive, think of Yeshua being resurrected. Prior to coming alive, he was dead. If I am not currently coming alive in my day-to-day life, then what am I? Existing. I am moving through life as though I am a living zombie, just going through the motions, but not moving with that dynamic force. Ernest Holmes says, there is an irresistible, universal, and divine urge within us that wants to be happy, wants to express happiness, to be whole, to be complete, and to express this fullness of life. It can't do that if we are not the willing participants of it, though. Are we allowing the divine urge? See, if I don't choose the volition of moving my mouth, moving my tongue, allowing air to move through my lungs, through my throat, across the tongue, etc., through the voice box, etc., then words aren't formed. Sound doesn't come out. I mean, like I can move my lips and nothing comes out, but I have to be willing to participate in the divine urge to speak, the divine urge to sign, to communicate, to connect. I have to be willing to engage in this divine urge, this irresistible, universal divine urge that wants to express, that wants to connect, wants to bring joy and be joy and spread joy and happiness and love and healing and wholeness and completeness and perfection. I have to be willing and then act. Because as we said last week, knowing is not enough. We must act. Being willing is not enough. We must do. Am I in a position to act? Am I in a position to do this? Because if I'm not, then I'm doing something else that is the opposite of happy or whole, the fullness of life. I'm doing something else, if not this. If I'm not doing coming alive, verb, if I'm not coming alive, then what am I? Being still, being inactive, being apathetic. What am I being? Complacent? Because either way it goes, there's a choice. I can choose not to stand, then that means I'm choosing to sit. But I don't want to sit, then stand. I don't want to stand, then you've chosen. Are we going to choose to express, to participate in this irresistible, universal, and divine urge? Breathe. Because once again, the invitation, what makes you come alive? The invitation, what makes your heart sing? What makes your life, and I'm not just talking about a hum. I'm talking about, how sometimes you know your jam. You know what that song is. You could be doing whatever it is you're doing. As soon as that song comes on, you start bopping, you start tapping your foot, you start humming, you hit that one line, you hit the bridge, whatever it is, boop, and you start singing. There's something that resonates. What makes your heart sing? Your heart, because your passion, your bliss, your love, what makes your heart sing? Are you in tune with it? Howard Thurman says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive. What makes your heart sing, and go do that. Because what the world truly needs is more people who are alive, more people whose hearts are singing. That's what the world needs. What the world needs now. That's that. You alive, you singing from your heart, you connecting to that divine, irresistible urge. Do that. Breathe. Dr. Holmes says, in expressing more life, we are expressing a greater degree of infiniteness of the spirit. We are more completely personifying it. Ooh, breathe. Take that in. We are more completely personifying the infiniteness of spirit. Breathe. Personifying it, embodying it. This is the real purpose and meaning of our existence. It is the natural, it is the nature of spirit to express through us, in us, and as us, not in limitation, fear, or wanting from that place of lack and scarcity, but in freedom. See, we can want something, but want it in the way that Yeshua said to pray. Pray as though you already have. So I want a new phone. I will pray, I will declare and affirm it as though I already have it. So the wanting is a declaration of having. Breathe. Breathe. Because this is calling us into a completely new level of how we are showing up, how we are personifying, embodying, living this awareness, this divine existence, our spiritual magnificence. Because it's the nature of spirit to express, to live, to grow, to evolve. And it is incarnating as you, that means it is your nature as well. So let's ask this question. My cup runneth over. Does your cup runneth over? Do you feel that? One of my favorite poems references, I drink from my saucer because my cup runneth over. And we ultimately, ideally, we want to give from the overflow. So our cup is never depleted. Give from the overflow. But the question is, what is your overflow? What is overflowing? Because in order for there to be overflow, there's no room for lack, scarcity. There's no room for all of that worry and fear and trepidation and all. There's no space for that. The overflow, infinite blessings, infinite quote unquote miracles, infinite divine expression, infinite creativity, infinite imagination, infinite joy, infinite bliss, infinite ecstasy, infinite orgasmic, wondrous laughter, infinite cup runneth over. Are you in tune with that? Dr. Holmes says, there is a greater mind within each, which may be called upon, because there's only one mind, and that mind is God, and that mind is infinite awareness, and that mind is your mind now. It may be used and accessed at any time. There is nothing too small, nothing too great for this mind, for God. Listen, be receptive, be open at the top, believe absolutely, be convinced, be convicted. The one with a great purpose in life is always consciously and unconsciously holding this purpose up to the universal influx, thus causing an outpouring of divine wisdom through their own individual mind. Breathe, yeah, because are you living with this idea, this convinced and convicted purpose, so that you're consciously and unconsciously holding your intentionality, your vision, your mission, your reason for being, and you are holding it in such a manner that the divine influx of all that is causing a divine outpouring, overflowing cup runneth over, wisdom, imagination, creativity, wonder, awe, joy, laughter. Are you doing this? Are you allowing your individual mind and the one mind to truly be unified in your awareness and in how you act in the world? Breathe. This week's practice and the questions that Tracy and the group go over on Thursday night, which if you are desiring to join that study group, send an email to me or Tracy or to spirituallyintegratederts@gmail.com, and I will make sure that Tracy includes you by giving you a Zoom link so that you can join. And the questions this week are, do you know where or how to begin your journey of self-discovery? And if you've already done it, where or how did you? Are you able to identify, where do I begin my journey of self-discovery? How do I begin my journey? Well, I began my journey when I was 12, and this is how, and this is where I was, that kind of thing. 2, are you okay with where you are in your life? Describe where you currently are, and not, I'm sitting in my office in the basement. No, where are you in your life? Where are you in your relationships with people? Where are you in terms of your satisfaction and completeness and joy in life? Where are you? Describe it. And what do you want to be different than you are currently experiencing? And what is the reason? Why? 3, what makes you come alive? As Howard Thurman said, what makes you come alive? What makes your heart sing? Have you felt that calm that comes from being in the flow? Describe that process, that feeling, as best as you can if you have experienced it. Number 4, what will it feel like to express my purpose, my callings? What will it look like to express my purpose, my callings? And lastly, number 5, are you afraid of answering the callings? Are you afraid to live your purpose? If so, talk about what that fear is and how you will address it and heal it. Breathe. This week's affirmation declaration, I will say it first, and if you feel in alignment, say it with me on our second go round. I am expressing my divine callings right here, right now. Together. I am expressing my divine callings right here, right now. Breathe as we close in prayer. Simply anchoring into this moment, recognizing all that has been shared has been the divine communicating with itself, calling itself forth into greater expression, greater ways of being, greater ways of living, greater ways of enjoying, being in joy in this thing called life. Allowing our heart to sing and singing with that divine song. Letting it move us to the rhythm of being in the flow of the divine. Allowing our minds and our hearts and our physicality to be in alignment, to think God thoughts, to speak God words, to feel God emotions, and to show up in the activity of the divine. Inquiring minds already know, because there is only one mind, and in that one mind, there is infinite intelligence and infinite wisdom. The answer is there. The moment we pose the question, simply posing the question already implies there's the question. The answer is already there as well, or I wouldn't even have had the question to ask. So we ask, knowing that the answer is there. What is mine to do? The answer is there. What is my calling? The answer is there. How do I help to manifest a world that works for all? How do I help to manifest the beloved community? The answer is there. Am I listening? And am I acting? Breathe. And as this Sunday message, this opportunity to engage in this practice in this moment right here and now, as this comes to a close, we continue to go throughout this thing called life, living, moving, enjoying, and having fun, what it means to be the divine in expression. And the law says yes, as it always does. It is saying yes to you. It is saying yes to your heart, saying yes to your song, saying yes to all that you are as the divine incarnation of the universe. Yes. Now you say yes to it and then live. And so it is. And so it is. Namaste and blessings, everyone. See you in a week for Sunday Talk and the After Sunday Fellowship. Don't forget to send your email. Much love and appreciation. Take care.